Have you ever reached a point where you just stop trying to explain yourself? It's not that you've run out of words. In fact, you probably have 1,000 things you could say, but words just don't feel safe anymore. Silence, somehow, becomes easier than the exhaustion of being misunderstood. It's a quiet retreat, a space you create when the world outside feels too loud with judgment and misinterpretation. This isn't about giving up. It's about a profound shift in how you protect your own peace. You've tried before, haven't you? You've tried to explain how you feel, what's going on inside your head. You've laid out the reasons why you've changed, why that old job or that old friendship just doesn't sit right with you anymore. You've poured your heart out, hoping for a moment of connection, a flicker of understanding in someone else's eyes. But somewhere along the way, you learned a hard lesson. Being heard is not the same as being understood. People can listen to your words, nod along, and still completely miss the meaning behind them. They hear the sounds you make, but they don't feel the weight of your experience. They filter your truth through their own biases, their own expectations of who you should be. And in that gap between hearing and understanding, you start to feel invisible. So you start saying less. You shorten your answers. You offer a simple "I'm fine" instead of a detailed breakdown of your inner world. You let the conversation move on because the effort of building a bridge to their understanding feels like too much to bear, especially when you suspect they have no intention of crossing it. It's a subtle retreat, a quiet closing of a door that was once wide open. This silence becomes a form of protection. It's like a shield you hold up, not against others, but for yourself. It keeps you from having to constantly defend your feelings, from the draining task of justifying your own emotions as valid. You no longer have to explain why something hurt you, or why you need space, or why you've chosen a different path. Your choices become your own, without needing a committee for approval. Silence frees you from the pressure to shrink yourself, to make your personality, your dreams, and your boundaries smaller and more convenient for others to accept. You stop trimming the edges of your soul to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. You learn that some things, some precious, fragile parts of you, actually feel safer when they stay inside, there for you. They're not exhibits in a museum for public critique. This quiet space you've cultivated isn't empty. It's full of the things you've chosen to keep sacred, away from the noise of opinions and expectations. It's a sanctuary where your own truth can exist without needing external validation. But we have to be honest, this silence also has a weight. When you hold too much inside, all by yourself, it can start to feel isolating. It's a strange kind of loneliness because it's not about being physically alone. You can be in a room full of people, surrounded by friends and family, and still feel a profound sense of solitude. It's the isolation that comes from no one seeing the full version of you anymore. They see the polite, quiet, edited version you present to the world. They don't see the internal struggles, the quiet victories, the complex thoughts that you keep locked away. And over time, that distance can grow quietly, almost without you noticing. The gap widens between who you are and who people think you are. You might even start to wonder if anyone could handle the real you if you showed them. This is the paradox of self-protection in shielding yourself from being misunderstood. You also risk shielding yourself from being truly seen. Here's a crucial realization. Not everyone is meant to understand every part of you, and that's okay. They are the rare gems. Others, however, can only meet the person you used to be. They're stuck on an old version of your story, and they can't or won't accept that you've grown and evolved. They want the old you, the one that was more predictable, perhaps more accommodating. Trying to explain your new self to them is like trying to fit a key into the wrong lock. It just won't turn. And this is where we reframe silence. It's not always avoidance. It's not about running away from conflict. Sometimes silence is discernment. It's the wisdom to know where to invest your energy. It's the conscious choice to stop pouring your heart and soul into conversations that go nowhere with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. It's about conserving your energy for the connections that actually nourish you. You are allowed to be selective with your vulnerability. This is so important. You do not owe an explanation to everyone who asks for one. Your life, your feelings, your journey, they are not public property. An explanation is a gift, and you get to choose who is worthy of receiving it. True, deep trust doesn't come from being understood by the masses. It doesn't come from winning over every critic or convincing every skeptic. Real trust, the kind that anchors you, comes from being deeply understood by a select few. It's found in the friend who listens without trying to fix you, the partner who sees your flaws and loves you more for them, the family member who supports your growth even if they don't fully get it. And most importantly, it comes from being understood by yourself first. It's about getting to a place where you can sit with your own feelings, your own decisions, and know in your gut that they are valid, even if no one else on the planet agrees. Your own self-acceptance is the foundation. Everything else is a bonus. So, if you're in a season of silence, know this. It doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It doesn't mean you're broken or withdrawn. It simply means you are finally listening to yourself. You're listening to what feels safe, what feels right, what feels true. One day, the right words will find the right space with the right people, and it will feel effortless. It will feel like coming home. Until then, your quiet is allowed. Your silence is valid. It is a powerful, sacred space that belongs to you and you alone. Thank you for listening. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more thoughts on navigating life. Take care.